Hi guys, it's Asante, and today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Dope. As the title would suggest, it's pretty dope. Alright, now that that's out of the way. Dope is about a high school senior named Malcolm who's from a rough neighborhood in LA. He's a black nerd who's obsessed with 90s hip-hop and has a rock and roll band with his two best friends. He gets bullied in school, but he's a straight-A student with hopes of going to Harvard. Along the way, he gets caught up in the drug trade and comedy ensues. It actually screened at Harvard last semester, but it was creeping up on finals time and the workload was real. So I didn't actually get to see it then, but especially since it was an indie film, I was so excited to get to see it on the big screen. Andre, aka Black Nerd Comedy, also did a review which you should definitely check out, I'll link it. In his review he said he forgets that dope refers to drugs, and I also forget this, I just always think of it as a term of approval. So I shouldn't have been, but I was surprised by the main role that drugs played in the film. But despite that, the film kept things really light and wacky and fun. Malcolm wasn't taking the drug trade too seriously, and the movie didn't take it that seriously either. For me, it was one of those movies where the main character makes a series of bad decisions, and the audience knows they're bad decisions at the time, so the whole movie I was just going like, no, don't do this. He has to make one wrong move in order to cover the previous wrong move, and it's cute because the term slippery slope is a running joke in the film, but the film itself is a demonstration of the slippery slope that can happen when you go to a drug dealer's birthday party. For me, it took a lot of suspending disbelief. I thought some of the things were a stretch, even within the realm that the movie created. Some plot choices didn't make a lot of sense, but I was willing to go along for the ride for most of it. But I will come back to that. I thought the performances were amazing. For me, it's a good sign when you're not thinking about the acting as it's occurring, and I wasn't. I thought the parts were played phenomenally. I thought Malcolm did a great job of being this, nerdy, coming of age, trying to figure things out high schooler. He was trying to fit into this neighborhood, to this culture, but at the same time maintain his academic integrity. I really loved the color, and for me, production-wise, that was my favorite aspect of the film. Everything popped. Everything was very vibrant. You could tell there was a lot of attention to detail in the props, the costumes, the patterns on the backpack, the cassettes, the records. Everything just had its detail and color and texture. Mad props to the production designer and colorist. I also like the integration of social media into the film. Because a lot of it seemed like it could have been taking place in the 90s, but the social media brought it back to the present day. One of my gripes with the film is the way that the female characters are treated. Not only do they tend to be pretty flat, I mean, Malcolm's mom gets completely shafted, but all of the distractingly beautiful women that capture Malcolm's attention are of course Team Light Bright. Because while Malcolm's struggling but supportive single mother is solidly Team Midtone, the sought-after ideal black beauty has to be incredibly light-skinned. Of course. So as I was saying, there are a lot of points in the movie that really stretch the bounds of reality even within the film. Being someone who's been through the Harvard application process, I have that perspective where I'm very aware of things that would not go that way. Yeah, no, not how it works. Most of the time I was into the story, so I let it slide. But there was one sticking point at the end. And this doesn't spoil the plot at all, but throughout the film, Malcolm's trying to think of what to write for his college essay. And at the end of the film, he states it in this half voiceover, half big final speech of the movie. And the last sentences of his essay for the common application, mind you, and it said on the screen common application that he was filling out, were, "So why do I want to get into Harvard? If I were white, would you even be asking me that question?" Whoa. Time out. First of all, kids, do not end your college essay with such an inflammatory statement. No. Do not go accusing the institution that you are begging to accept you. Especially since for Malcolm, there'd likely be a black person reading his application. So don't go making assumptions. Secondly, so why do you want to go to Harvard is not the question on the Common Application. The Common App goes to every school that you're applying to through the Common App. Is he only applying to Harvard? Does he really have these high aspirations and is not applying to any other Ivy League school or Common App school? Really? And even if he wasn't applying to any other schools, it's just not appropriate to talk about a specific school on your Common App. That's what the supplements are for. And thirdly, even if why do you want to go to Harvard was the question that he was answering, that would be the question on the application. So yes, we would be asking the white people and everybody else, because everyone fills out the same application with the same questions offered. Like, it was just so preachy, and it was also inaccurate. And I almost felt like it belittled the complexity that the movie had built up, right? Like, they built up this world of him navigating between, you know, blackness, nerdiness, being hood, and trying to figure out who he is along the way. And the essay started out in a way that could have made a very interesting and nuanced statement. But it just boiled it down to something so heavy-handed that pretty much told the reviewer they were racist. I don't think they're gonna respond well to that. I don't think you're gonna get the response you want. He just made it harder on himself, honestly. Like, it was a stretch. You lost me. You lost me on that one. I saw the point you were trying to make, but I can't. I can't do it. And as far as whether Malcolm would actually get into Harvard, he definitely has the scores. He has the brains. He has straight A's and nearly perfect SATs. That's definitely what they are looking for. Again, SATs don't have to be perfect. Did a video on that one. And as the movie demonstrates, he thinks on his feet and has an entrepreneurial spirit. And he definitely has a unique story to tell and a complex background. So he's not boring as a person. He has artistic talent with his band, and they have original music. So he's a good candidate. What I feel like he is missing is some sort of community service or volunteer work. Pretty much something that says he cares about someone other than himself and shows that he's working towards more than just his own desires. And with that inflammatory essay, I think it would probably come down to the interview. And in the movie, it pretty much does. Anyway, that's my nerdy analysis of Malcolm's Harvard application strategy. I don't think Dope was a perfect movie, but I do think it captured the black nerd experience of the modern day in a way that movies really haven't. Honestly, like, young black nerds and young black hipsters and black millennials in general are just starved for representation. So, although parts of the movie were definitely ridiculous, I thought it was very enjoyable. What did you think of Dope? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to live spiritedly and think creatively, and I will see you next time.